Okay. Thank you.
I mean, it was kind of given, right? So we were doing the wrong minutes. So
Yeah,
just,
Robin and I were chatting.
yeah.
I figured it was just a end of the year, too much stuff going
Oh
on.
my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Figure it out as I go.
Get to do your report in front of a full house. And then get the hell out of here as soon as you're done so you can get over to school.
I know.
Book.
I felt bad because I couldn't help set up or anything.
Yeah, well, my wife's over there, Patty's over there, setting up all the drinks and moving tables, and it'll be good. It'll be fine. Turn my phone off. If you're here, they're retiring.
That's really sad.
There's like six or seven of them.
Hi. Hello. There's actually a lot of people this year going to Macomb.
Yeah,
I was scouting them all out with the shirts today.
mine are going home for the simple reason that they're a quarter of the way done, or almost half,
Yeah.
closer to half the way done. I said, you can't.
Yeah, when I went to meet with the counselor, I was in shock of how much I had done on the MTA.
Yeah. Over at Senior Sunset. The reason being is I have something to read when she's done from Scott too. As soon as she's done, I'm going to try and grab Dan and tell him that's it. Yeah, well, I got to.
Yeah, Mr. Temple has a thank you, and you want to read every day.
So, yeah, awkward.
Yeah.
I'll read it. I'll read it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a sad week.
Nah.
I am sad. Stressful. A lot going on.
I'm happy that this couldn't end soon enough. It really can't. The drama that is this.
Yeah, I know. Hello. Good, how are you?
There's playoff hockey. Let's go. We should be. Yeah. I have a feeling I agree with you there. It should be a short closed session. Because so many people don't know what they want to do, Macomb's the perfect option. 90%. It really is. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Look at
Especially, it's free.
I told the girls, I said, you can go to Macomb
Wonderful.
and take Math 101 for $443. Or you can go to Alabama and take Math 101 for $2,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can pay for one, or you can borrow the money for the other. What do you prefer?
It's the same thing in the like grand scheme of things.
Yes, it's the same class.
Yeah.
That's what's irritating about it. It's the same flipping class.
Yeah. And the way that like I went there and I met with the counselor and the way she was explaining it to me, like if I want to go to school for a business degree, I can do 3 years at Macomb and 1 year at like Wayne and graduate with a degree from Wayne.
Exactly. Yep.
I've been to UCLA, but never
To watch? No, not watch softball.
I've been out there. They played a tournament at UC Fullerton, so did a tour around at that point in time. USC doesn't have a softball team.
Oh, they don't? Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, and I've been to the University of Washington way back in the day. Yeah.
Where did your seat go? Your seat. After I talk, I have to go because we have senior sunset.
I'd like to ask all who are able to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
I'd like to welcome all to this evening's regular meeting of the Lakeview Public Schools Board of Education. Today, Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, 7:30 p.m. at the boardroom at the Weed Educational Campus. I'd like to call the attention of the board, the minutes of the regular meeting of April 15, 2025. There's a revision at our places this evening.
Move for approval?
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Taylor. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
One abstain.
Okay. Madam Secretary, have we any public communication this evening?
Mr. President, there is no communication.
Okay. Moving on to item D, Student Representative Report. Ms. McDade, good evening.
Good evening. So first I have a general update. Each school in our district has been celebrating Teacher Appreciation this week with various gestures of gratitude and gifts for the staff in order to show them just how much they are valued and appreciated. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all the teachers in the Lakeview district. Now the Wheat Early Childhood Center. This month they are learning all about the animal and plant life cycles. Miss Brady's classes are growing chickens again. The children are very excited each day to see if they have hatched any. They also found a nest of baby bunnies on the playground last week. Students are excited to go out and check on them each day and watch them grow. Many classes are also in the process of watching the butterfly life cycle happen in their classroom. Science is very fun and exciting when you're a preschooler. Last week, they were rocking at the preschool. A special thank you goes out to one of the students' parents, Mrs. Naomi and Mr. Bobby, who spent 2 days putting on 4 different rock concerts for all of the preschoolers. Kiddos were encouraged to dance, sing, laugh, and have fun. Lastly, they just finished up their end-of-the-year testing with the current ECC kiddos. They have also begun testing all new incoming kindergarten and young 5 families who are enrolling with them next school year. This data is very helpful as they look at the best placement for each individual student. Harmon Elementary. During April, Harmon hosted the Farm Bureau Science Lab. This mobile learning trailer visited Harmon, where all scholars were taught hands-on activities to learn more about where their food comes from, agriculture in Michigan, and resources in our own community. Mrs. Fenn's third graders had some new visitors hatch last week. The third graders had a classroom incubator that successfully hatched a dozen chicks. Scholars were able to make scientific hypotheses and observations throughout the 3-week incubation process. These specific lessons focus on the life science unit from the Carolina Science curriculum. On Wednesday, May 28th, Harmon will host their annual LHS walkthrough for graduating seniors. They are excited to celebrate this great achievement with the LHS seniors. On Friday, May 30th, Harmon Hawks will take to the outdoors and participate in Field Day 2025. Scholars will be put to the test on the field with a variety of events from relay races to the pizza box race. It's going to be an exciting day filled with fun and excitement for the Hawks. Greenwood Elementary. The kindergartners had the joy of visiting Denwith's greenhouse where they planted their very own seeds. The fifth graders have been hard at work raising funds for their end of the year celebration. Students in grades 3 through 5 have been showing what they know on the M-STEP test. These can be long days, but their staff has gone above and beyond to make the experience as positive and stress-free as possible. They also had their first ever learning labs, where teachers volunteered to open their classrooms so that colleagues could observe the new Bookworms pilot curriculum in action. A huge thank you to Kathy Ristoni, Caitlin Nonwatney, and Katie Flaherty, I apologize if I said any of those names wrong, for leading this work. These labs not only showcased effective instruction, but also created a space for reflection and debrief, ensuring that those who adopt the curriculum in the future already have a foundation of support. This is a great example of Greenwood staff's commitment to collaboration, risk-taking, and continuous improvement. They also came together as a whole school for an assembly hosted by Jim Basketball Jones. His engaging message on making kind choices paired well with their PBIS core values. This assembly was generously sponsored by the Marat family, who raised funds during last year's Walk for Hearing. This year's walk will take place on May 31st at Kensington Park, and Greenwood will again participate. All are welcome to join. Princeton Elementary. Princeton is having a great spring so far. They are in the midst of M-STEP testing and the end of the year assessments. They have several fun activities to look forward to over the next month and are full steam ahead towards summer. Ardmore Elementary. At Ardmore, they recently held a successful mother-son event at the high school, and it was a fantastic afternoon. The indoor bounce house and gaming trucks were especially popular, providing lots of fun for students and families. Looking ahead, their annual spring fling is right around the corner on May 16th, and this year's sports theme promises a great time for all. Families can look forward to games, food trucks, bounce houses, and music. It's always a highlight of springtime. Jefferson Middle School. At JMS, they are continuing with spring testing and excited for the results. They have also had 2 testing sessions for the incoming students for the advanced course sections at JMS. As they progress through May, they have the incoming 5th graders visit JMS for a tour and presentation from the counseling office. They also have high school leadership students come to speak to the 8th graders during advisory classes as they transition to the high school. JMS wishes everyone a great month of May as we begin to wrap up the 24-25 school year. Okay, lastly, Lakeview High School. The Powder Buff boys volleyball game was last Monday, April 28th. The Huskies pulled out a win over the Shorians. Thank you to all the students and staff who participated. A special shout out goes to Maddie Geib for organizing this event. AP testing is taking place May 5th through the 16th. Good luck to all the students and AP teachers over the next 2 exam weeks. Congratulations to Haley Tartaglia, who was the LHS nominee for the MAC Academic Awards Banquet. Haley plans on going into education at Western Carolina University. Shout out to Pat Threet. Pat was inducted into the Macomb County Coaches Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Coach 3. As we approach the end of the school year, it's important that we recognize the significance of supporting the senior events. These celebrations mark a major milestone for students, many of whom have spent years working towards this moment. This week is the last week for exam-exempt seniors and is definitely a fun-filled week. Last week and this week, seniors are getting a chance to sign the rock that is in the auditorium parking lot after the class of 2025 Student Council painted it. This gives the senior class an opportunity to leave their mark for years to come. Today, the class of 2025 Student Council is hosting a senior sunset where the senior class will gather on the football field wearing the Decision Day shirts to celebrate the end of a great year. Prom is this Friday, and all the students are very excited to celebrate this big day. And lastly, seeing as this is my last meeting, I wanted to just take a minute to thank all of you guys and Mr. Capello, who I don't think is here, for this opportunity, and just say how grateful that I am for all that you guys do for our district. Being a student in Lakeview schools has provided me with a lot of opportunities that I'm very thankful to have had. This week is a very emotional week of a lot of laughs for me, so I just want to make sure that I am giving thanks to everyone who has had an impact on me over the past 4 years. So thank all of you.
Thank you.
You don't get off that easy. Mr. Kapla asked me to read something for you. Thank you, Abby, for your outstanding service as the student representative on the Lakeview Public Schools Board of Education. Your voice, leadership, and thoughtful perspective brought valuable insight to discussions and truly represented the spirit of our student body. We appreciate your dedication, commitment to making Lakeview a better place for all students, and you will be dearly missed.
Well, Ms. McDade, it's been a great year having you as a student rep for your class of 2025. Thank you for all your contributions and all your shares over the last year. Based on how thorough you are, I'm sure you're going to succeed very well in your future endeavors. So from the Board of Education Administration here, thank you very much for your contributions over the last year. Greatly appreciated. And as part of our thankfulness for you, we have a little parting gift here for you. So if you want to come forward, please.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will just add, Abby and she did many more things than just these meetings and the research to get a good report together. And a lot of those leadership kids are, setting up these events, like, part of tonight is the setup of that. And they're doing that behind the scenes for their peers in many cases, and they don't necessarily get recognized. Occasionally, we have them in front of us with an approval to go to the state conference and present, because our kids have done that a number of years the last decade. And that comes with, right through school and showing that dedication to the district and your peers. So thumbs up.
Yes, thank you. But you're not off the hook yet, because we still have to approve the graduation class list tonight.
Wouldn't want one name to get lost.
Any of the board members have any comments they'd like to share? No? Okay. Again, thank you very much, and all the best to you. You've left the bar high for that position that you do here. Thank you. All right, moving on to item E, Board of Education Administration comments. I think first and foremost is a follow-up to last month's hot mess that we were dealing with some pretty bad, hateful graffiti that was left on the high school auditorium walls up on the roof. I'm pleased to announce that, through the cooperation of our administration and our friends to the north, Lake Shores Administration, that we have conclusion, and, special thanks for the police department and our school resource officer and his dedication to bring this to a closure. It was an embarrassment, and I'm sure it's more of an embarrassment for those that were involved that are going to be held accountable for this, but, thank you all for being diligent in bringing this to a closure, so thank you. Also, it's been quite a year, and as our student rep just reported, her last report for us this year, there's been a lot of good things that have gone on at Lakeview this year. And, we just want to keep the ball rolling here. We have another month of activities here. Commencements are on the 30th of May, and then the virtual ones are the Wednesday after. So we still have a lot to look forward to bring this year to a closure, but it's been a very good year for the district. So again, thank you all for your contributions. And that goes to fellow board members, administration, staff, and the families in the community in Lakeview. So thank you. Any other comments from the board?
I just want to say, with respect to Pat Freet, I think that was really, really wonderful. He did a lot of amazing things, including coach my kid in softball. So huge kudos out to him for just stepping up every moment to just be an amazing Husky coach. So just congrats to him.
Yeah, Coach Street gets a little grief from some of his peers because they said, did you have two Division I softball players on the same team the year you coached? And what was your record? So they give him a little bit of grief on that, but it was well-deserved. It was a nice event that, it's just a small portion, him being here, but he coached many other places, but he, well-deserved, long time coming.
And not just football and softball. He coached wrestling. He was a wrestling ref for a long time on behalf of the county. So there's a lot of other parts to how he arrived at a young age in the Hall of Fame in Macomb County. So kudos to him.
Yep, as you can tell, there's a lot of moving pieces all the time to make it a success for the district and all the people that participate in it. Again, thank you to all for your contributions in making this year another success. So With that said, any last comments?
Yes, I think Abby rightly mentioned teacher appreciation, and this week nationally, that's what is referenced. We have chosen as a district to make the whole week staff appreciation. That includes, because Secretary Day somewhere back, a month ago, Principals Day a couple of weeks ago. So there's a bunch of those that occur throughout about a 6-week period every year. And we have traditionally packaged them all into this week and made the week, in effect, and some of our PTO groups and the booster groups and various other parent volunteers are active with providing snacks, breakfast, lunch, different options, food trucks at lunchtime, just a whole host of different things, including the district office on behalf of the central office and the board, working with our DHH program students, offering those snacks and drinks and niceties, not this week, but all the weeks following till the end of the year, covering every school on a couple of days in each week. So those students are involved with the activity and providing and setting it up with their teachers, and that they're going to the sites and making it available, and it's more of a make your choice kind of a thing, which is a different way to do it. And I'm glad that we organize that on behalf of this office and the board. 25-26 state budget. We got a governor's proposal a long time ago. We just got a Senate version. Both of those have state school aid fund, state foundation allowance increases, which is good. The House has not provided a comprehensive public budget, so contact your House reps and say, hey, let's do this, let's get it done, because we sit and watch and wait to make our best guess, because Lakeview's budget has to be approved prior to June 30. Unfortunately, the state budget process officially doesn't have to be approved till September 30, which oftentimes leaves them being able to sort of dally around and not get it done before we have to make our decisions. So probably, in the next few weeks, we'll develop some potential projections on revenue. We already know our expense projections pretty well. But the revenue side, can change depending on the winds in Lansing and back rooms and smoke-filled rooms and all those stories you hear about politics. So one more thing will come next Friday, I think it is, the CREC, which is a revenue estimating conference between the House, Senate, and the governor's office. And they come up with numbers with a lot of help from the University of Michigan Economics Department and some other groups that do those types of things. And usually it's a pretty fast flurry after that, because then they have some slightly more concrete information to work from. But all the history tells us tax collections have been strong. So they're going into the budget year with the idea that there's going to be some ways to divvy up some money, not have to cut stuff, down. Now, you have two parties in power, so it's not going to be as simple as it's been for the last few years. Our board rep did a good job. We already mentioned her, and I mentioned the fact that the whole council, the whole student leadership group does a lot of things behind the scenes to make a lot of those activities happen. And we have a number of extra audience members, and I know they're related to some of the individuals that are going to be recognized later in the meeting. And several of those people go back a long time in the district, as a family even. Yes, and when I was doing human resources, and it was many years ago, I had a joke that it was, I hadn't even been alive as long as some of these people were working for Lakeview. That joke faded a few years ago, unfortunately, and these things showed up a few months ago. But to all those people we're going to recognize later tonight, thumbs up. We appreciate all your efforts and the good things you've done for many years in some cases, many years in a few cases, and not as many years, but for good reasons for those Teacher of the Year folks that are out there. So I'll leave it at that.
I do have a comment. I'd like to thank the board for your continued support and the approval of our bond projects that we have going forward on a regular basis. One of the most recent is you approved Chromebook purchases in the tune of over 5,000 devices, and over 2,500 of them were delivered already, with the other 2,500 plus coming tomorrow morning. So that is exciting times when you start to see your board approvals and decisions here at the table that transfers over into what happens in our classroom. So we're excited about having those finish arriving, preparing them, and then actually dispersing them to students for the start of next school year. So thank you for your continued support, and I look forward to the other things that will be delivered. It's almost a little bit like Christmas in July as those things start to come in. So thank you.
Yeah, we're excited too, because it didn't get hit by any tariff.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Any other comments?
I just want to piggyback on what Ms. Van Peeren was talking about. The new addition at the high school is the area where the Chromebooks are being stored, sorted, and will be distributed out of there. So we are utilizing a space where we don't have to have 5,000 Chromebooks in this building to find a spot to put them where they don't get trampled on. So another,
And they'll be distributed next fall then, correct?
correct.
Okay. Any other comments? Anything left from the board? Nope. Great, thank you. Moving on to item F, approval of tentative graduation list for the class of 2025.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the tentative graduating class of 2025 for Lakeview High School and Lakeview Virtual School as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion.
I'm excited for the football field.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Hopefully the weather holds out.
Get some tarps.
Yep. Any other comments?
Congratulations to all of you.
How
Great.
many students? How many sold?
So we're
Just over 300.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item G, recognition of Lakeview Teachers of the Year.
Administration is proud to present to the Board of Education the Teachers of the Year for the 24-25 school year. Teachers from each level, elementary, middle school, and high school, have been selected by a vote of their peers. Present to receive a token of the district and the board's recognition and appreciation are the following teachers. From Ardmore Elementary School and Princeton Elementary School for the elementary level Teacher of the Year is Mary Beth Aliff. And you would come forward, please. Congratulations. You have to turn around and stop so you get a picture. All right. From Jefferson Middle School is Lisa Kaluzny. Yes, you have to stop for a picture.
You have to stop.
Very good. And our high school Teacher of the Year, who isn't able to be here this evening, is Christina Costella.
Once again, congratulations to all those recipients of the Teacher of the Year Award. Well done, and look forward to another year next year. Thanks again. Item H, retiree recognition.
During the 24-25 school year, the following staff members have processed their recommendation for retirement This evening is an opportunity to present them with a token of appreciation for the many years of service they have given to Lakeview Public Schools. When I call their name, if they could please come forward, I would appreciate that. I'm going to say a few things about them, and our first person is Lori Cherry, our Executive Assistant in Human Resources. So Lori has been with the district for a very long time. She started as a parent of students who were going through, worked as a volunteer in the buildings before doing, as many people did, is working at the building level in that capacity. Then she came over, and I'm not adding the number of years, I'm just going to say a number of years ago. She started working in central office as a substitute secretary, filling in for some of our spots, doing a fabulous job. And then we finally talked her into joining the group, not in a sub basis, but as a full-time basis, where she's worked in HR for that whole entire time. And to say that it's going to be a hole in our office when she leaves would be an understatement. She does an immense amount of tasks for the district, many of which people don't even realize, right? But if you go around the district and you ask people who have worked with Lori, they will tell you that she is an extremely kind person, a true, compassionate, empathetic employee who always has kind words to say for people, even in the most difficult of situations. And so we will truly miss you, me especially. And I don't know how I'm going to do that job without you, but I'm so excited about your next chapter and everything that life has still to offer for you. So thank you. And our next retiree we want to recognize is Joanne Dennison from Jefferson Middle School, who is one of our social workers. Joanne is another, I think we have lots of superstars in our district, and most of you would agree with me. Joanne is definitely one of those people. She has worked for years at the middle school, having a tremendous impact on not only students, but the staff that she works with and the parents. She provides a tremendous amount of support at many different levels. And over the years, she has served on various committees, from interview committees to council social worker committees to social emotional learning. She's been instrumental in serving on many of our staff teams that have developed some significant processes and procedures here in the district that service kids the best that we can service them. She also has a very calm manner to her in very high energy situations, I will say. Oftentimes over the years, as we've dealt with some significant challenges, Joanne is that person where everybody sometimes is here and you look over at Joanne and she's very calm, and she is that person that keeps us grounded. I know your staff is going to miss you immensely. Your students and your parents are going to miss the services that you provide, and we can't thank you enough for your many years of service. Thank you. And next we have Kathy Fury, who is a teacher at Jefferson. So Kathy has She has filled many roles in the district across various buildings, various levels. She is one of those jack of all trades. She's been a classroom teacher. She's been a content area teacher. She's been a electives teacher. She has started electives and built programs that weren't here in Lakeview before. She's very flexible and very skilled at what she does. You're really kind of a legend around the district, to be honest. It is not uncommon for people to see the staffing list or to come and pick up schedules and they say, oh, Mrs. Fury's here? I had Mrs. Fury, my brother had Mrs. Fury, my child has Mrs. Fury. Yes! And even some of our teachers have had Mrs. Fury. But I will tell you to a T, all of them say very, very positive things and have felt honored and very lucky to have you over the years. I have also appreciated the sheer number of people you have mentored over the years. So it's one thing to be a great teacher, it's another to share that with others and to help other teachers be great teachers. And that is something that Kathy has done over the years. She has been very helpful to her administrators, and she's had quite a few over the years, right? Some may come and some may go, but you have been a constant staple over, not just at Jefferson, but in the other buildings. And so she has not only helped her colleague teachers, but also administrators who come in and assume new roles, and count on tenured teachers who have experience and quality. So we thank you, and I can't even tell you how excited I am about what you have in store for you in your next chapter. So thank you so much. And next we have Cindy Gilsonen, who is also a teacher at Jefferson. Cindy has been over at that middle school, leading the charge in that social studies department, talking about mentoring new teachers. I'm trying to think of, even in the most recent years, how many teachers you've mentored in that department as we've brought new folks on. And one of the things that I think is extremely important about Lakeview and special about us is our stability that we have and the longstanding high standards that we have for instruction for our kids and our teachers who are here. And Cindy really models that. She's provided that consistency in curriculum and in the services and instructional practices that we provide for kids, and has been able to help mentor new teachers who come on with how do you tackle those high expectations that Lakeview has. She's pretty famous for, I would say if anybody had an 8th grader going through Jefferson and you had the Wax Museum, right? How many of us? Quite a few. Yes, quite a few, myself included. Yes, you know, that was Cindy. So I say about not only providing things that are inside your classroom, but the contributions you've made to the building and the district as a whole, and starting, you know, high traditions of events and things that really make Jefferson what it is. You've also served on lots of committees over the years, from curriculum committees to building school improvement committees to interview committees, and all of those things speak to the person that you are, not just in your classroom, but in your building. And so we thank you for the contributions you've made to the many, many kids you've had over the years and the families that you've serviced. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Wait, what are you gonna do with all those posters?
The
Anybody that's looked in her room.
posters.
All those posters and all that. You could like fashion like 4 classrooms with what you've got.
I don't know if anybody wants it though, but I
Constitution hasn't changed.
no.
Pretty sure.
Very good. Yes. We have Christina or Tina Gastella, who is also retiring from the high school. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but we will make sure that she gets her bell, and we will also make sure that she gets the words that I've prepared to speak about her. And then moving down, we have Laura Rigoni, who is also not able to be here tonight, but she is one of our special secretaries at the high school, and we will miss her as well and make sure that she gets her items. But our last person is here, so if Christine Templeton would come more forward. Christine is our administrative assistant in Student Services Office, and I say that's what her role is right now. Chris is one of those people who has had many jobs throughout the district, not because she couldn't keep those jobs, but because she did them so well that we have welcomed her to go into different roles. So she has worked, started off in central office. It kind of comes full circle, doesn't it? Started off in central office when we first put a receptionist. It was a new position that we created, and Chris filled that role. And
Maintenance and operations also, she trained me on that.
yeah, well, she didn't do a very good job.
I don't do that anymore.
And then Chris has moved to other positions. She's one of those people, I think, that always is looking for how to better herself and to determine how she can best service others in the district. And so she moved from that role, and I was lucky enough to have Chris work with me in curriculum and enrollment for a number of years before she moved on, and she worked at elementary level, she worked in the preschool, and then she came back full circle to student services here at central office. And I can tell you that although those jobs are all different and have different responsibilities, there's one thing that is common about all of them, and that is that the people who worked with her in every single one of those positions would say that Chris is top-notch, that she ethically is of the highest ethics and morals, that she is one of the most kind and caring and compassionate people that they've worked with. And I'm saying that too, but so are lots of people. I'm looking around and seeing people shaking their heads because Chris is really here for the right reasons. When we talk about customer service and serving others, Chris is like the epitome of that. She truly is here to service other folks, even when that is super, super difficult. She cares about kids, she cares about families, she cares about staff, and you know that when you work with her. She also has a quiet and kind manner about her. You know, sometimes I shake my head going, wow, how does she do that? Because, you know, sometimes people are over here yelling and screaming and swearing, and Chris is still so kind and professional and still delivers the same message that needs to be delivered, but does it in a very kind and compassionate way. And I look around and I see people who have tears in their eyes when they hear about her leaving, and that just tells you what an impact that she has and will continue to have, because she's leaving the legacy of lots of improved procedures and policies that she's helped make happen. And so as much as we are going to miss you, I know that you have life beyond Lakeview that's going to be really, really wonderful, and we wish you the very, very best. And I don't know if this says something about my age or how long, but when I go through and all of these people who are retiring are people that I've worked directly with, I feel very, very honored. I've always been proud to be here in Lakeview, but this is part of what makes me extremely proud because of the people that we have work here, by far the best.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is you look at some of these names, and some of them were on the new hire agendas back when I first started.
Yes.
And, you know, here we've come all this way, and, you know, wish all the best to all of the retirees congratulations, and thank you for your contributions to the district for all the time that you've been here. Excuse me. But to that end, what that does is it opens up opportunities for other people to step up and excel and give them opportunities. So, again, thank you very much for all of your contributions, and all the best in your endeavors.
Kathy, were you the top of the seniority list?
For a very long time.
So you were? Okay, I wasn't sure on that one.
Thank you for pointing it out.
If you don't mind me asking, how many years?
35 and a half.
Wow, nice. Congratulations. Mrs. Van Perren, in the past, you used to indicate how many years of service. I guess you let it go this time, huh?
I'm getting old, and there were a lot tonight for me to keep in my mind. I won't say that I hired on before many of these people and with some of them.
All right. Again, congratulations to all. Moving on to the agenda, under General, Item A, resolution for the proposed Macomb Intermediate School District 2025-2026 General Fund Operating Budget.
In March of 2025, the proposed Macomb Intermediate School District operating budget was distributed to the local districts for review and consideration. On April 17th, 2025, the proposed budget was reviewed with explanation to representatives from the 19 of Macomb's constituent school districts. It was unanimously approved by the local school districts boards. Representatives in attendance at the MISD budget hearing and overview. Mr. Baer attended the meeting on April 17th on behalf of Lakeview. Under the revised school code, the Macomb Intermediate School District must have its general fund operating budget considered approved by each individual Board of Education within the Macomb County by June 2nd, 2025. This evening, it is recommended that the Lakeview Board of Education approve the resolution for the proposed Macomb Intermediate School District 25-26 General Operating Fund Budget, not alternate 1 or alternate 2. A full copy of the MISD budget was provided to the board for prior consideration.
And for the board's benefit, that was this document, looked like that.
Mr. President, I move that the Lakeview Board of Education approve, as presented, the resolution for the proposed Macomb Intermediate School District 2025/26 General Fund Operating Budget.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Mr. Asia. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, resolution authorizing administration to submit preliminary qualifications of a 2025 bond issue.
Tonight, administration is seeking authorization to finalize and submit an application to the State Department of Treasury for preliminary qualification for an anticipated November 2025 bond ballot proposal. The resolution identifies all parties that must be involved in the process with the Department of Treasury, including an expected timeline of events. In addition, materials provided tonight provide an overview of the intended projects, financing process, and bond sale timeline, which can lead to a no-tax levy increase method of paying down the approximately $44.1 million of debt incurred. Over the past several months, the board and administration have been investigating district needs in detail to understand what could be accomplished to update major infrastructure and building equipment looking to the future. Lakeview's design and construction team worked diligently with administration and the board to facilitate prioritizing those lists of projects and to match the needs to a potential financing timeline and process. Administration worked with finance legal counsel and finance consultants to develop the no-tax levy increase option. Paired with the project work list, the bond sales process would require a 3-series set of bond sales in 2026 at $12.9 million, 2028 at $14.9 million, and 2030 at $16.1 million. The attached resolution, provided by the board's bond legal counsel, directs administration and our construction, design, finance, and legal team to finalize and submit the Treasury application that can be moving the process forward. Once the pre-qualification process with Treasury provides Lakeview final set of once the pre-qualification process with Treasury is done, provides Lakeview an approval for the application, the final set of documents would come back to the board for approval. Sample ballot language that complies with the Treasury application and intended project list will be included for the PQ meeting with Treasury officials later in May. Ultimately, in June, the board would also need to approve ballot language and the call for an election on November 4th, 2025. Administration recommends approval of the resolution authorizing administration to submit the bond application to the State Department of Treasury.
Mr. President, I recommend that the Lakeview Board of Education approve as presented the resolution authorizing administration to submit the application for preliminary qualification to the State Department of Treasury in anticipation of the 2025 bond issue and election. Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Ms. Taylor. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Personnel, item A, changes in personnel.
Tonight, administration is bringing forward the following changes in the personnel since the last presentation of the Board of Education on April 15th, 2025. New hires, Jennifer McIntosh, Harmon Elementary School paraprofessional, Caitlin Stanley, Lakeview Public Schools Student Services Administrative Assistant, Susan Idle, Lakeview Public Schools Executive Assistant for Human Resources. Resignations, Jessica Rice, Princeton Elementary School paraprofessional, Tracy Louie, Princeton Elementary School paraprofessional. Elementary Summer Learning Program, new principal, Michelle McLennan. Elementary School Summer Learning Program teachers as listed. Secondary School Summer Learning Program teachers as listed. Schedule B, new coach and sponsor, Deanna Damascus, Lakeview Public Schools Special Olympics. Schedule B, returning and coach sponsors as listed.
Mr. President, I move that the Lakeview Board of Education approve the changes in personnel as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any of the new hires here
We
this
do.
evening?
We have Susan here. She wouldn't mind standing up so I can introduce her and say a few things about her. So Susan, we are excited, is going to be joining us, thanks to your approval with the Human Resources. She is currently working in Royal Oak in Human Resources, so she's coming with like skills that we'll be able to utilize her hitting the ground running with doing many of the same tasks that she's already doing, as well as she does have experience in previous positions that give her some additional experiences that we think are going to complement the office. She has previously also worked in Macomb County District, so she's familiar with our ISD and some of the programs that we're already utilizing. So as you know, our folks go through a rigorous hiring process, starting with paper screening. She has gone through the full interview process with the big team that we watch people's eyes kind of go open when we open the door, and it's a very large group of people. And then we have those secondary interviews that are more intense. I always tell people when they come in, I hope that today is going to be a little more relaxing for you and casual. And they kind of look at me like, I don't know, it might just be one or two people, but it's pretty intense. But hopefully, it was as good for Susan as it was for us, because that second one gives us a chance to even dive deeper. And we left that interview knowing that Susan was going to be a great fit for us and had a lot to offer. And she is semi-starting with us, not officially till June 2nd, but she'll be in working the mornings next week to have some transition time before Nate leaves. So we are thrilled to have her, and we're so glad that you're here with us, joining us. Thank you.
Great.
Good. And
Welcome
that's all we
aboard. Maybe we'll see you in 25 years getting your bell as well. Curriculum, item A, Lakeview High School Marching Band to Orlando, Florida.
The
The Lakeview High School Marching Band would like to travel to Orlando, Florida to Walt Disney World and perform in the Disney Magic Music Parade at Magic Kingdom and the Soundtrack Sessions Instrumental Workshop. The trip will be occurring during the 25-26 spring break, allowing for the students to attend the trip without missing any school. The students will be performing for large groups of people and participating in a parade for a major amusement park while representing Lakeview in a positive and professional way. All transportation, accommodations, and itinerary destinations are planned and provided by Bob Rogers Travel, Inc., including security at the hotel. The students are responsible for the cost of the trip, which is $22.99 per student, and they will have opportunities to participate in various fundraisers. Jody Thompson is the sponsor of this trip. Marching band camp assistants and approximately 10 parent chaperones will be accompanying Jody and the approximate 75 students to the Magic Music Parade experience in Orlando, Florida. They will depart from Lakeview High School on Saturday, March 21st, 2026 at approximately 3 p.m. and will return on Saturday, March 28th, 2026 at approximately 10 p.m.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the field trip of the Lakeview High School Marching Band to travel to Orlando, Florida on March 21st, 2026, returning on March 28th, 2026.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Mr. Bear. Discussion on the motion.
Safe to assume this is the week of spring break.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, Jefferson Middle School 8th grade annual trip to Washington, D.C.
Jefferson Middle School 8th grade students and chaperones would like to travel to Washington, D.C. during the 2026 spring break. This is an annual trip where Washington, D.C. monuments, museums, and sites of historical significance will be visited, providing valuable hands-on educational and fun learning opportunities for students. On this trip, the students will receive vivid illustrations of history through site visits and gain a greater understanding of the nation's heritage. This experience will also provide students with a sense of responsibility, of good citizenship, and the importance of national pride. Student Adventures Travel Company will again partner with Lakeview Public Schools for the 2026 Washington, D.C. trip. The total cost of the trip is $991 per student. A variety of fundraisers are planned in which the students may participate to help defray the cost of the trip. Informational communications are mailed and meetings are held for parents and students to share the trip itinerary, procedures, and expectations. A trip coordinator will be responsible for preliminary planning and oversight of students and chaperones while on the trip. Parent guardian chaperones will be chosen at a ratio of 1 parent to 4 students. The group will depart Jefferson Middle School on Sunday, March 29th, 2026 at 5:30 a.m. and will return on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026 at 11 p.m.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve Jefferson Middle School's annual 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C., leaving Sunday, March 29th, 2026, and returning Wednesday, April 1st, 2026.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion.
I say this every year, there's no better trip for the kids. They learn a lot, they see so much that you can't possibly see if you went on your own. They drop you off at the entrance to the museum, pick you up at the exit, go to the next monument. Fantastic trip, I've chaperoned it 4 times, so.
Awesome.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to bond implementation, bid pack number 11, Lakeview High School bid package number 11, pool fire alarm faults, change order.
Tonight, administration is recommending a change order to Shoreview Electric for replacement of fire alarm equipment within the pool area at Lakeview High School. Several months prior to the start of the work at the LHS pool, the air handling unit that maintains the air in that area failed and could not be restarted. This raised the humidity within the space, and once construction began, the fire alarm system began showing faults all within and around the pool area. Pool itself, lobby, adjacent locker rooms, etc. Over time, pool area air, because of chlorine in the water, can be more corrosive than other areas around our schools. Barton Mello Builders had Shoreview Electric, the electrical contractor for bid package 11, do an evaluation of the devices throughout the impacted area, including strobes, horns, and pull stations, and found that many of the required devices had become corroded and failing, which was the cause of the faults. Once this was discovered, administration directed Barton Mello Builders to get pricing from Shoreview to complete the necessary repairs, and they provided pricing which was reviewed by Barton Mello, Partners in Architecture, and Administration. The team found the pricing to be appropriate for the scope of work and materials needed. This work is necessary for life safety and in order to have the fire alarm functioning correctly for final occupancy and approval from the Bureau of Fire Safety. Therefore, it is recommended that the board approve a change order and contract entry to Shoreview Electric in the amount of $35,079. And Barton Mallow and PIA have representatives here to answer any questions the board may have.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the change order and contract increase to Shoreview Electric in the amount of $35,079.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Mr. Ashen.
Are these, you changed over to these are these like basic ones, or these are, is there like an upgrade we can get so it won't corrode ever again? Is there like a?
Yeah, we've talked with National Time, who services all your buildings, and they'll have like enclosures that have like bubbles to them on top of that, especially in the pool area where you get the most corrosive exposure.
So that's like something extra we're gonna add to them?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting like, Cadillac versions, we don't gotta do this in a couple of years, and they rust out again, so, good idea. Sounds like you're already on top of that, thank you.
Will it be as corrosive? It's my understanding that we're going with a saltwater system. So,
Like some of the devices right now don't even have any shrouds or enclosures, so like adding these will help tremendously from it. As far as the corrosive, I guess I'd have to speak on the difference between the two systems.
The type of filtration system that's getting installed will help with getting the chloramite out of the air. Then also the new dehumidification unit will help keep the humidity levels where they should be in that space too. So between the two upgrades, yes, have a better environment for that equipment.
And this is the result of multiple failures of this air handling unit where it might go down on a Friday night if we get a power surge. You can't just restart it remotely. You have to have someone standing at the unit to turn it back on. There's no alarm that was on that ever wired to say, hey, I'm off, please do something. So when our swim team would walk in on Monday morning, they'd be like, hey, there's water cascading down everywhere because the humidity unit's been off all weekend. So that's kind of the outcome of this. It's, just time to replace everything since we're tearing the pool apart. So it's kind of, just, it's time.
complete upgrade.
Yes.
How are the repairs coming along right now?
We're kind of on track, right? I mean,
Yeah, we're progressing well. So you have the new dehumidification unit outside sitting, ready to be hooked up. We've coordinated a few things that have come up recently, but other than that, this one's a very important one. Otherwise, we can't gain occupancy come the fall. So that's why we brought to your attention.
Are there going to be any repairs done to the walls surrounding that outdoor unit and the fencing? Because it looks like a couple cars may have
yeah,
punched holes in the wall and.
we've talked about that. Unfortunately, those are like, I guess, you ever play the game Connect 4?
Yes.
Those things are kind of slid in place, so you have to remove everything to repair one section. You can't just take it out and do it. And that wasn't in any of the scope of work.
So can we do something to make it look presentable instead of like somebody ran into it again? I mean, we're spending all this money on this stuff. You might as well make it look like it's presentable.
I'm not the money guy, so.
Standing outside, you stand outside and you see, well, cars are.
Or you might be able to do an external panel, just attach it to the current block and make it look better, cover it up and make it look better. And then if you have another accident or somebody backing into it and you dent it, you pull it off and put a new one on.
Or guardrail or something.
Yeah, something like that.
For your motion, I'll motion to put an extra,
I didn't put a motion out there, just,
I think you want to let our team do a little investigation and explore some options.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Not pretty, but functional.
Pretty functional.
pretty fun.
That too. Any other comments?
Do we want it to still look pretty if someone backs into it again, or no?
Put a camera out there. There you go. All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to business item A, landscaping snow removal contract recommendation.
Tonight, administration is bringing forth a recommendation to award the district landscaping and snow removal contract to Landscape Services Incorporated through June 30, 2028. Beginning in March, a request for proposal was advertised and bidders were solicited as law and district policy requires. Several contractors contacted the district to seek clarification on the RFP. Ultimately, 3 companies submitted sealed bids for the proposed work on April 22nd. Administration reviewed the bid submittals and did a cost projection based on the amounts provided in the bids for each vendor. LSI bid was the lowest and most comprehensive, including pricing for the optional items the district had requested in the bid specs. Administration did post-bid interviews with the owner of Landscape Services, and during the interview process, LSI affirmed they were the lowest qualified bidder and could properly serve the district needs. Landscape Services served the district well in the past 20 years of service, and the company is attentive to our regular expectations for snow removal and grass cutting, also very responsive to our special requests. However, it should be noted that the administration did complete reference checks on LSI, all of which came back positive. Based on the pricing submitted, affirmative background checks, and positive relationship with the company since 2005, administration is confident that Landscape Services Incorporated will continue to be able to meet the high level of expectations the district has for all of its privatized service providers. Therefore, administration is recommending award of contract to Landscape Services Incorporated for district-wide landscaping and snow removal through June 30, 2028, at an estimated total annual cost of $281,400. This annual cost can fluctuate up or down depending on ice and snow conditions in a particular year and the number of pushes and/or ice melts required based on weather conditions.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the district's landscaping and snow removal contract to Landscape Services, Inc., beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2028, at an estimated annual cost of $281,400.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Mr. Ashe. Discussion on the motion. Here,
It was surprising.
the differences?
Yeah.
Yes,
Crazy.
yes. And we know what we get from Landscape Services when it comes to snow removal. I mean, they're on it, and everything else that they do for us.
They're very, the calls at 4 in the morning or 4:30 are very enjoyable, too. He's quite the animated person at odd hours of the evening and the morning.
Or the 2:30 call that he calls me where he's pushing snow. The owner is pushing snow on our property and going, "Hey, I just want to give you an update." Paul, it's 2:30, man. He's just out there pushing, and he's awake, so he figures everyone else should be out. But
There you go. All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to other, item A, request for closed session student expulsion, long-term suspension recommendation 2024/25ND.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the request for closed session to consider a student expulsion long-term suspension for student 2024/25ND.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin to go into closed session. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ashe?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Aye.
Mr. President?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Miskelly?
Aye.
Ms. Martin?
Aye.
Stanton, yes. Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We will, for the record, it is now 8:31. We will go into recess. We'll reconvene at 8:35 will work. Reconvene at 8:35. I ask that the student and parents/guardians be present along with administration in the boardroom.